In favor of Disrupt, and Tuffy managed to clutch out a 1v2 on the Valkyrie. So moving on with our bad and Soniqs, we'll get on to the map. It'll be Elevate banning first. It'll actually be Soniqs banning first, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're going to take out Glaz, so pretty standard. I want to say he's got the highest ban rate of all attackers now that Lion isn't able to be banned or played. So makes a lot of sense. Soniqs, you're the better. Wow, no, I don't want to say that, but you are the more established team. You want to take out the things that people are used to playing with, and then of course Nomad being gone as well. Newer operator. Even when she does get banned, she still has an effect on the game because that's a ban that doesn't go to somebody else. That's a ban that doesn't go to Ying, or that's a ban that doesn't go to Blackbeard, or something like that. Echo taken off the board as well. Pretty common information, plant denial. We see it time and time again, and Zona's wasted no time. They just want to get into things. They know who they want to take off the board, and it's Mira.
Yeah. So with Elevate banning out Nomad and Echo, my opinion is that they like to go for runouts, but also so they don't have to deal with an annoyance of an air jab just randomly being in the middle of the site and leaves you completely vulnerable for about 3 seconds to get up after being air jabbed to the ground. But with Elevate being on attack first and it being an attacker-sided map, it'd be interesting to see how it plays out for the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, we saw in the last map in particular, attackers were really heavily favored. I guess not that much, but it was a 4-2. And after the first, 3 rounds on attack, after the half swap, it was 7-2. I can do math. 7-2 for the attackers before finally it started to crawl us back to a 8-4 scoreline. So in favor of the attackers, of course. So we've already seen some data. We've seen some information that might suggest attackers a little bit heavily favored. We also just know in general that Coastline's pretty attacker favored. Bans have been a little bit different. Nomad being taken off the board might prove to be something. But all in all, there wasn't a ton of Nomad played. Was there even any being played last time?
The last matchup we had between Disrupt and
Nomad?
Nomad was used, yeah. Spades brought her out.
I see. So with that, there might be a little bit of impacts in terms of the operator bans, but all in all, hopefully it won't be an exact mirror image. We are going to be going Hookah Billiards for our very first bomb site, and this is the same bomb site that our bad chose to start on, so probably it's going to be one of those bomb sites where, I mean, you know, it's just team preference. Some people like to start here, some people like to start kitchen. It goes back and forth based on playstyles and such like that, so not too surprising they're going over here. There's no curveballs to start us off. All operator bans are pretty standard to me. There's a Blackbeard on the attacker side, though, so that'll be real fun to deal with.
Yeah, Nog really known for his Blackbeard play last season. Absolute monster of a beast. Blackbeard's already tough to deal with, but when it's on Nog, oh my god, it's so hard to take him down on the Blackbeard. But with the recent buffs to Blackbeard's MK17 and also a nerf to the SR25, they're a bit more on par with each other in terms of damage, so depending on if you've got a good trigger finger or not, you can utilize that SR25, but this time Nog will be favoring the MK17.
They'll start to work their way forward. Yeah, we do see a lot of different variation in terms of Blackbeard gun. It's split pretty 50-50 in terms of what gun people like to bring. Some people like to bring different guns based on the situation, whether you're going to be actually in the site pushing or whether you're just going to be holding angles. Sometimes that DMR can be a little bit better. Thunder's in a bit of a situation here. If he had timed that a little bit better, or positioned that a little bit better, he could have gotten a kill, but it'll be Nog who gets the kill. Just as we're talking about the Blackbeard, that MK17 will find its mark. Goddess, the smoke player, dropping in the back of sight, and that's never the first operator who you want to go down if you're a defending team. Pretty much all of those operators, other than the Smoke and the Maestro, are like expendable in the sense that they don't lose any utility once they're gone, ignoring like Nitrosult and stuff. But Smoke is a really important one to have later. And they're already planting the diffuser. Excuse me? Prophet's going for this plant, and they're getting all the kills.
Happened?
What?
What just happened? Hello?
I have no idea. I'm as lost as you are, Chris. They were planting, and then I saw 4 kills in the kill feed, and then the round ended, and I was like, excuse me? I was saying something, guys.
That's okay. That just happened. The moment Nog took one down, 4 frags just absolutely came onto our screens there, and Elevate taking home round number 1 in a very quick and successful fashion. So round number 2 will be back inside of Hookah and Billiards. We'll see if Goddess learns her lesson about facing Nog, Holiday Nog, on that Blackbeard.
You tell he's gonna lock that operator in. Not a chance he's gonna swap off of it. They are, I mean, they're content. It's interesting. The Sonics are going right back here after they lost it so dominantly. Clearly they feel like there was some sort of fault in their strategy that was easily exploited by Elevate, because you don't go back to a bomb site like this after you lost it so decisively unless you know what went wrong and you've got a plan to fix it. So I'm hoping that the Sonics are gonna have a plan in this round. They're gonna be able to pull it back. We obviously don't want to see them just completely crumble. However, that would be interesting if the Sonics like fall apart this week, and last week they had a bit of an issue as well. Might change some of people's expectations or opinions of this team going forward if they lose this one, because Elevate are a good team, don't get me wrong, but 2 losses in one night for the Sonics is just gonna hurt people's image of them.
Yeah. Sonics off to a pretty shaky start that last round. I'm really surprised to see that Elevate just completely mopped the floor with them. 4 frags in about, what, 2-3 seconds?
Yeah, it was like a blink of an eye.
Everybody just died on Sonics. Absolutely great coordination and great teamwork coming out from Elevate nonetheless. Rich will be on the Jackal. Some people normally favor that C7E, but the PDW has a bit of a small buff. I don't know if it's intentional or not on Yubi's end, but although it deals 34 damage, okay. Although it deals 34 damage, it deals a bit more longer range at the end. But Thunder taking down Ghost, huge frag and a very big impact coming out onto Elevate.
We've seen many rounds for the Sonics where the first player that loses Ghost and everything falls apart after that. He's only a roamer, like he's expected to die first, but when he doesn't get anything for it, when he just sort of throws his life away, we didn't see it. We didn't see what happened to him. But when he goes down early, it can cause a bit of a crumble inside of the Sonics team. You can see Rich doing a really great work with this Jackal, being able to track Avian, running around the service entrance, running in through the toilets. Hasn't really been flushed out of it yet, but the fact that they know that he's there means that he's not going to be as big of a threat. Big Nog looking in through Hookah, but it'll be Rich who finds the headshot on the Avian. Again, these guys, they just start crumbling once one player goes down, and the Sonics really need to get some sort of a kill. 3v5 is, well, this might be shocking, but not where you want to be. This is a good opportunity. What are you doing? Oh no, he's missing every shot. Neptune, oh, he wishes we didn't get that on stream, but we sure did. That's gonna hurt going back through the VOD. Super will be the one who finds the kill though, and Nog finally goes down. That's the Blackbeard on the window, so that's a really big player. Super gonna get blinded for his sins though, and the plant will start to go down. Trying to cover that. That is Pixel. It's gonna be a C4 from Super. That's his second of the round. He's been the savior, being able to bring things back to an even player count from both of these teams. And with 1 minute to go, things are gonna get tense.
30 seconds left to play. Z Thunder primed, grenade in hand, not going to find anyone just yet. Have one more frag grenade in his pocket, but the last 40 seconds left to play. 3v3, Super on about 1 shot of HP. First smoke grenade is going to come out from Rich. The Pixel's there to take down Super with this clean headshot, but Goddess through the Toxic Babes takes down Pixel. Easy trade. Pings are coming out from the Evil Eyes. Another Toxic Babe will come out. That'll be the final one. That'll be Rich on the plant trying to go down, but Neptune's running on out, takes down Z Thunder. It's all up to Rich, and a 1v2 takes down Goddess. Can he find another frag onto Neptune's? Neptune's is there to shut him down inside of Hookah, and finally Sonics will take the round number 2 and put themselves on the board.
So he didn't clutch, and he was dead for the majority of the action that round, but I think a lot of credit for that has to go towards Super. Being able to get your team back into a round after you just lost the first round super decisively and then lost 2 players in the second round. I mean, the mental state of Sonics cannot be good. It's really important that you have a team leader, somebody like Super, who can step up and get those kills and get your team back in the momentum of things. Full credit to guys like Neptunes and, of course, Goddess as well, stepping up and getting those last couple of kills. But I think Super needs to get the most credit for that round, because it's really important to be able to get your team back in that mindset.
Unfortunately, Z Thunder not ready and expecting the run out that came out from Neptune's, despite the massive potato that he had on him underneath inside a blue bar.
We're gonna ignore that.
Neptune's
We're gonna forget about it.
Neptune's redeemed himself. We'll put it at that. He redeems himself. Finally took down Z Thunder on a second attempt, and really just despite the heroic attempts to save the round for Elevate from Rich, Neptunes was the better player coming out from that round, and we're now tied at a 1-1.
That we are, and with a defensive win, we're going to have to change up the bomb site. It'll be kitchen service entrance. Not all that surprising. We expect to see things like this. Look at the operators coming out from the defense. Of course, Mirror being banned, which means we're not going to see the same strategy that Disrupt liked to bring out a couple of times when they defended this, but you're still seeing a heavy top floor presence. This is what you'd expect to see. Neptune's still playing that ACOG operator. You see that a lot on Coastline, but you've got Super up here, you've got Ghost up here. You've got a lot of really flexible operators who can play all over the map. They can be up top here and be a really big nuisance, but then also drop down when the time comes. So I like this defense being set up by the Soniqs. Pretty standard, nothing like super out of the ordinary. You're not bringing like an alibi or something that might throw the enemy off by any means or any stretch of the imagination, but you've got good fragging potential in Ghosts and Neptunes, and then super not bad either, as we saw in that last round, able to start things off. Now, Rich trying to find a bit of an angle here. He'll get to open this up, and this is going to be a really important doorway to play for this bomb site, needless to say.
Getting really close. I think that was Avian crossing back and forth between service entrance and the bathroom. Nog trying to toss in some flashbangs to burn out the ADSs laid out by Ghost. Pings are coming on through. Z Thunder inside of CCTV. Barely going to miss out Avian inside a lobby. And Avian retreating back in through service entrance, but Rich is there for the cross right outside of the doorway on the plant by the balcony.
Great that he was able to get that kill. Again, that's a really important operator to keep alive. It's not Goddess this time, but it is going to be the Maestro. So that's another operator that you need for those late game plant denials. You need for that late game information to rotate those cameras around. It's important that he's able to stay alive for as long as possible. So one player down on the side of Soniqs, and again, we tend to see them kind of snowball once they lose one player. Snowball in the wrong direction, that is. So I would be a little bit worried, but still a lot of opportunity to come back. One player, not the end of the world. A couple of Habana holes being used in an interesting pattern all across the bottom, meaning it's going to be really tough to walk past this without getting your toes shot off. The defense not going to be happy about that, but, well, they're also going to have to contend with Nog on the other side of things, big shield in front of his face. This is just not an area you want to be playing in if you're a defender.
Yeah, taking over server's entrance is going to be extremely tough, given that Nog is playing with that Blackbeard inside of the lobby by the desk. Ghost isn't careful here. I think he's going to bite the dust to Steven. Wow, yep. Pixel through inside of CC. Super takes down Rich, and another onto Profit. Diffuser has been downed inside a service entrance. Super detected outside. He's going to try to bait for his life. I think Super knows exactly what's going to happen, but Goddess has been down. I'm not exactly too sure where Neptunes is at. Pixel's going to trade him out, but Neptunes takes down Nog. It's sitting inside a courtyard. It's all up to Neptunes in a 1v2. Shots coming out from Z Thunder inside of Blue Bar, not able to find anything. Takes some damage onto Z Thunder, but with 30 seconds left to play, and Diffuser still not in the hands of the attackers. Time is running out. Finds one. That'll be Pixel coming on through in the lobby. Takes down Neptunes, and just like that, Elevate win their second round and move on to a 2-1 split.
Yeah, hate to see it happen like that, but wow, brilliant play playing around the palm tree. Able to land that shot. That was really really great to be able to find out that he was back there. And then, of course, win your gunfights. So another one, as you mentioned, in favor of Elevate. And classic Nog, yeah. I mean, Super played really well. That last round is, again, he got a 2K. He ran out that time. And I wanted to credit him again for keeping his team's momentum up. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to follow through that time. But that's the way she goes sometimes. Rounds go back and forth. And they're going to try kitchen service entrance again. If it goes the same way, or if it has the same story as Hookah, they will be able to win it the second time, because Hookah lost it the first time, won it the second time. Kitchen, maybe it'll be the same story.
Yeah, Elevate. It's been really back and forth between Elevate and Soniqs, but the second time is the charm normally for Soniqs, as we saw in that second round. The first time, Elevate just completely slaughtered everybody on Soniqs, but then the next round, Soniqs formed and banded together, won that second round, and then last round that we just had played out, despite Goddess being down, I really thought Neptunes was going to land the headshot onto Pixel, swinging on in from the lobby, and given that Thunder was inside of Blue Bar at about 25 HP, I think that Neptunes could have probably won that had he had better positioning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important that they try to take more control over lobby, because once those Habana holes started to get open up into the bomb site, we saw it, like, as the instant somebody tried to peek that, they got killed. There was a Blackbeard watching it, Pixel was watching it as well, and there was Ophia. And so it was just like a death trap. You try to walk past there and your knees are getting so many bullets, so many arrows, you're done. So at that point in time, they basically had no chance to try to hold on. They did bring it back by getting a good couple of kills, but your traditional just stop the plans, play standard defense was not going to work out. So you had to try to improvise. I'd like to see the roamers try to keep better control of that this time, either from up top and then come back downstairs.
Yeah, first 30 seconds. Droning's already coming out, and Avian sitting inside a lobby. Really dangerous for Avian if he's not careful. Not exactly too sure where the attackers are going to try to push Avian from, but already we have somebody moving on through. It's going to be Z Thunder inside a CCTV with a Nog outside in the lobby. Avian's in a really bad spot with Rich watching the cross all the way outside. Moves on in, finds the frag onto Avian and shuts down the Maestro. Things are starting off very well again for Elevate.
Again, they get these early kills, and it's more or less worked out for them. They're going to get another... Oh, no. Ghost is going to actually win that gunfight. Thunder falls from behind the bar and buck off the field. Ghost took a bit of damage for that, but I'm glad to see him starting to get back into things. It seemed like he was not having the greatest start to this match, but winning that is certainly going to be a boost of confidence. Again, playing right next to his best friend Super, that's going to help him quite a bit as well. So again, these are the same things, but this is what I'm talking about. You've got that lobby control, so you can stop those Savannah pelts from being opened up. I don't think he got all of them. I believe the first one happened, and that's a bit of a yikes. But overall, I mean, the idea is there. You're trying to hold on to lobby. You're trying to stop those Habana pellets from being opened up. So, you know, that's something.
I'm not too sure how Neptunes didn't hear almost 3-speed Blackbeard just trugging on up the stairs, but either way, Neptunes is going to fall, and Ghost, I think he was maybe trying to come upstairs to try and help out Neptunes, but either way, he'll be on a late roam upstairs. Plan's going to start to come down from Profit over inside a service entrance. Toxic Babe's coming out, not doing any work. But Super comes in clutch with the headshot onto Profit. Pixel trades him out over by CCTV. Ghost rotating on through, but Pixel and Ghost are going to trade each other out. Nog actually gets the trade. It's now a 1v2 for Goddess. Can she clutch it out? She does have control of Diffuser inside a service entrance, but she has 30 seconds left to play out. Diffuser's finally going to get picked up from Rich. Plant will start to come down. Side of service entrance, all up to Goddess to take down Nog. Will not, and Nog has the cross. Goddess falls and Elevate, moving on up 3-1.
You saw those Habana holes, the fact that they weren't as wide as they were in that first round had a big impact. Yeah, a little bit of damage was done as the man was trying to run past him and deny that plant. But he lived and he was able to deny that plant. Ultimately, it didn't matter because a couple of players started to drop after that. Brought it down to a 1v2. That's tough for Goddess to win. Winnable, but she just looked at the wrong angles. So at that point in time, you've guessed and you've guessed wrong and you've lost the round. 3-1. And the Soniqs are not looking good. We think back to the last round and we were talking about how this is a little bit more attacker favored. So you can at least hold on to that hope if you're a Soniqs fan. But otherwise, I mean, earlier today wasn't looking great. Now in this matchup, not looking great. They're going to choose to defend onto Hookah Billiards as it has opened up. They won it in round number 2. That means they can play it again in round number 5. That's what they're going to try to do. And assuming it's not a big rush and just fury of kills in the blink of an eye, Thanos snap coming out from Nog, they should look pretty good. I mean, they were looking pretty good on this bomb site. So I think they'll be fine. They just need to play it the same way they did in the second round. I think they'll be able to take this nice and simply. But you never can count out Nog.
No, you cannot, especially given that, you know, like I mentioned before on the Blackbeard, his Blackbeard play is absolutely one to be feared inside of North American Challenge League. And all in all, if Nog isn't fragged off, it's going to be really tough to try to defend just because of how accurate and swift Nog is with his aim.
Oh yeah, especially on the Blackbeard, using that MK17, he is just so deadly, so good at what he does. He knows which bomb site he's going to because he's counting those rounds. So not a chance he's going to be playing anything else. This Blackbeard just working out so well for him. And the one round that they won, the Soniqs, it was partly because they were able to kill Nog really early on. I think he was the first person to fall on the side of Elevate. Maybe not the first person to fall in the round, but was the first person to fall for their team. So again, it's really big that he's able to get taken out because then you don't have his pressure on the windows, right? If he's free to just sit there, if he's free to just sit around and watch the angles, whether that be from the rooftop where he is right now, or whether that's back over on the windows, Either way, he's just so deadly, and you can never be safe when you're running across like that.
No. So I think was trying to attempt to go on the tart, but he'll forego it this time around and drop down on the hatch. Moving on into support, Z Thunder, side of VIP. Super going for a pre-fire through those Hibana pellets. First half of the round is going to be coming to a close very shortly. We're on the default.
Just default?
Spotting
Yeah.
out Rich.
You got it eventually.
Yeah, eventually Elevate takes down that cam. So first nade's going to come out, takes out a lot of utility. How this plays out now for Elevate.
Yeah, if the Hibana wants to come around now, I think that's one of the 4 panels which has been opened up if she wants to try to open up a window there. Can be quite useful, but not super necessary if you're an attacker side, if you're an attacker team. This is one of those maps, one of those bomb sites where you don't need a hard breacher all that much. But the fact that they brought it means that they probably would like to do something like that. So we might see Prophet jump up to the rooftop and start to open up some windows, but for now, it's basically just a slow grind. We see Ian Ghost playing down on the bottom floor. Neptune's playing the stairway where he had that forgettable moment. And all the attackers just doing what they do in Aquarium. This is going to be them pushing in quite quickly here. We see, I think Nog rotated down into the second floor, and Super has a really great hole. He just needs to peek it a little bit. Oh, from down below. Thunder predicting where he's going to be, but coming in for the retrade, that's going to be Avi, and Neptune at the same time gets a kill of his own. That'll shut down Thanos himself, and that puts us into a 3-on-4 running forward into the lobby as Avian trying to get back to this bomb site because, hey, then, the fight is going on. You need to be here. Ghost is around, and he's going to be starting to set up his ADSs. This is not the time for that. Trying to peek in to stop these guys from getting in from Aquarium onto that A bomb site. Planting the diffuser now. It's going to be Prophet. Neptune's starting to come around. Is he just going to get this plant for free? Yes, because Witch is covering. That's perfectly done. Goddess is going to eventually frag him out, and Avian's there to get another one. That makes it a 1-on-2. Pixel, last man to try to protect this diffuser. He gets 1 and he gets 2 from the balcony. Pixel does it. Round 5's Elevates.
Absolutely insane clutch coming out from Pixel in a 1v2 situation, taking on each gunfight 1v1, utilizing that ACOG to the full potential, catching Avian and the cross on the rotate from Hookah, and then finally shutting down, I think it was Goddess. No, it was Goddess at the end. So either way, Elevate on a very strong, dominant performance, sitting at 4-1 right now. But like we saw before, you know, with Disrupt and Arbad had a very high lead on their attacks, and then we saw Disrupt just, you know, swing right back, take it almost all the way through to win it out. But it's not too worrisome for Soniqs to be in this position, my opinion, considering that it is attacker favored.
So I didn't get it when Mira was unbanned, but now finally the Soniqs will give me what I've been wanting. It's Penthouse Theater. We're coming back to the good old days where Siege was simple and we had broken operators in the game that weren't globally banned. Oh boy, we're doing it. So this bomb site, of course, if you weren't around back in the day, it used to be very popular. It was quite often, I think it was the most played bomb site, wasn't it, on this map before we had operator bans and stuff. Nowadays, it's fallen off quite a bit. You see teams avoid it pretty much as possible, to the point where a lot of teams just don't ever play it, whether mirrors are allowed, whether, you know, whatever the circumstances, they just don't go here. So Soniqs playing it, they don't have a mirror. What's their strategy here? Because they do have some interesting operators.
Yeah, they have a Vigil with Super. Super on a roam game with Ghost, I would assume, happening. It'll just leave the 3 anchors being a Nep, Avian, and Goddess. 2 ACOGs and a Mute to play with. Not too interesting, but it's also noting, I believe Mira was banned, right? She was,
yes,
right?
100%.
Yeah, so Mira banned. It's a bit interesting that they're going Penthouse as the last bomb site with no Mira. But maybe Soniqs just has something up their sleeves, and Pixel will now be located on the Aquarium balcony.
Yes, he will. He's got a Vigil inside that he might want to try to contest with. He might want to get Super out of there, but Super's been having a really good game. We talk a little bit how Super can have some on and off days. And this morning he was definitely, I shouldn't say this morning, maybe I just woke up, but earlier today he was not maybe on, but this game he certainly has been, and he's been a really key member for his team to be able to even have the one round that they do. So he's going to be the man trying to contest Pixel, who's out on the elevate, but he doesn't want to play it too aggressively. And why would you? There's a man who's out on a repel. He's not a Blackbeard, I'll give you that, but it's still not a fight that you're wanting to just try to take. He's just going to sit back behind in the aquarium. Now he's got the Blackbeard coming for them. Angry Nog, he's coming around, and will he get the shot? Yes, he will, and then tries to flick over towards luggage, but the player wisely will back off. Neptune's thinking, maybe I can't win this. I'm just going to run away. My best friend is gone. I need to get out of here. Goodbye. And he'll retreat back to the main lobby. However, Thunder's waiting for him with a bullet.
Very swift bullet to the back of the head coming out from Thunder. And just like that, the roam game is shutting down. Actually, Ghost is going to fall to Nog. Second shield off the way, but it doesn't matter. Coming on through, Goddess in a 1v4. Shotgun now to Pixel, finds 2. Nog and Pixel dead, but still 3 members of Elevate are at 100 HP, and Goddess needs to find all 3. Pings are aggressively coming out on the wall, but the wall hasn't been opened from Prophet. Moving on now will be Goddess inside of Hall of Fame. Needs to find the remaining 3 members. Will be Prophet right on the left side of the bed. Tossing out a C4. It's going to get shut down very quickly by Prophet, and Goddess getting pinged out. Very easy frag to come out from Prophet, and Elevate move on up 5-1 against the Susquehanna Soniqs.
So Penthouse Theater, obviously a really bad bomb site. Nobody should ever be going there. We probably should never see it again because, yeah, that's really bad. 5-1, as you mentioned. And that's rough, especially for Goddess at the end there. Ace clutch is what she would have needed, and I like the start to it. Bringing out the shotgun's pretty smart. You're being in that close quarters hallway. It's important, but ultimately can't get it done. The retake situation, really tough. They'll swap sides, and it's going to be the bars, the first choice for Elevates. Not the strangest thing, but a little bit different. I would say out of the 3 primary bomb sites on this map, it's probably the least seen as teams' favorite. I'm assuming it's their favorite because they're going here first. Generally, that's how that works. So a little bit strange, but not out of the ordinary. You see lots of teams like this. They're bringing a castle, of course, very, very useful on this bomb site. They're bringing plant denial. They're bringing roaming operators, you know, the standards. Over in the attack, they've got some good stuff too. They bring in the Habana, they don't know where they're going. They're of course going to bring the Capitao as well. That could be a really interesting one. Try to play around, maybe under those castle barricades, and of course, just into the bomb site. Yeah, it's just useful.
Yeah, switching sides now, we'll have we'll have Elevate on defense, and with the Susquehanna Soniqs on attack. So, like I mentioned before, although Coastline is attacker favored, you'd normally see a more even split coming out with the Soniqs, at least in terms of round count. But unfortunately, I don't know how the scoreboard's been looking so far. We can take a look at that real quick. Wow.
Wow, yeah.
Even though the fragging has been a bit even, it's been Pixel, Rich, Elevate, and Thunder just absolutely fragging out of their minds. Nog with 6 assists on top of his 7 kills. So if he managed to land those 6 frags, that'd be at 13, which would be insanely impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy. They've just been really outclassing Soniqs, and I know it's an attacker-sided map, but I don't think you can put it all on the map, right? Maybe Soniqs will prove me wrong. Maybe they're going to get 5 rounds or even 6 rounds on attack and totally come back. We've seen them do it before versus Vicious Gaming. We have seen them come back from 5-1 deficits. Or was it 5-2 versus Vicious? It might have been 5-2. We've seen them make crazy comebacks. Okay. Either way, though, it's not going to be easy. And Elevate, a much more experienced team than Vicious, I would argue probably less likely to choke away a win like that. They only need 1 more round to tie what many people had pegged as the best team in the league.
Yeah, unfortunately for Vicious, they're currently sitting, I think, at the 5th place spot now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But we now have Soniqs on attack, and a very nice visual bug coming out from Ghost.
Way she goes.
The minute 40 left to play out. Not too much action has happened. Only nade operator will be Neptune's on the buck, and there's 2 smoke operators coming out from Soniqs, which is one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the matchup. They'd like to run 2 operators, so should one of them die, they still have another to depend on. You know, things tend to work out for Soniqs.
Time ticking down, 1:15 on that clock, and still nothing going on. The attackers just starting to poke their way into the bars. They're outside the pool entrance. They're watching the windows. but they haven't actually made a step in yet. You've got Ghost playing on the balcony, taking quite a bit of damage, but it's going to be Neptune, the first one to get a kill, playing up top in Hookah, getting the kill on a Pixel, who's trying to pressure him, get him out of there. Of course, was not able to do so. Nog will. Walks up top, right as Neptune's is looking down towards the floor, and that's going to hurt him. Flash and finally finished off. That's going to be Profit. Switched off, though. Elevate does get retraded. Going to be a 3-on-3. 45 seconds ago. Gas canisters being thrown out by Nog. We're starting to get down to the wire. Again, they're still just trying to make their way into the bomb sites. Goddess with that diffuser in hand has not made her way in and will not be able to plant just yet. Ghost starting to show up on the top floor, finds Rich. That's going to be one more player down. You've only got your smoke and your castle. Nog hiding behind the bars in kitchen. Castle will fall. Now on the staircase, it's Ghost coming out on top. A great round by him and a great round from the Soniqs to start things off, swapping sides.
Round started off very frag heavy, coming out with 2 trades on each side, so leaving us in a 3v3. But 30 seconds later, and just like that, Soniqs managed to take the round away from Elevate and are starting to somewhat stop the bleeding, hopefully. Trying to make a move on in to at least trying to even things out, hopefully going into a 5-5 within the next 3 rounds.
So this is interesting. They're going back to the bars, and I was talking about how a lot of teams, they don't dislike this bomb site, but they prefer to go on Hookah Kitchen. Pretty much every team at this level has a good Hookah defense. They have a good kitchen defense. I get that bars was close last round. Maybe you think you just got to change up a couple of things. Maybe you just got to win more gunfights, and you should be able to win this. But I don't know. I feel like if you're Soniqs, or sorry, if you're Elevate, maybe it's time to switch things up. Maybe bars is something you can come back to later in the round. You know, give Hookah a try, give Kitchen a try. These bomb sites that you should be pretty comfortable playing. I think I would argue you probably are pretty comfortable playing. You're so experienced. So it's interesting to me that they're going to go back to bars. I don't love the judgment call. Maybe they can prove me wrong and come out and win this round. But I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see how it works.
Yeah. So second bomb site will be played out again inside of the double bar. It was a bit interesting to see that within coming up on the final minute, it was a 3v3, but things just started going completely south the moment Soniqs got the man advantage into a 3v2. And then you had, I think it was Thunder inside a kitchen, got fragged out from Super on the Jackal, and then you just had Ghost push down the Cool Vibe stairs, grabbing the final 2 out of the 3 kills. And a really good performance coming out from Soniqs on that last round, so we'll see if they can keep that same energy moving on into this 8th round.
And it's interesting to know that that was round number 7, right? So that was the primary bomb site that is being played out by Elevate. That should be the round that the defense win. If the defense win any round on any map, just in general, it should be rounds 1 and 7, because that's where they have the most choice. They are the freest to do whatever they please. And so that's one where generally you should see the defense win. The fact that it was a W for Soniqs is big. That means that they're probably, well, it means they're comfortable on their attack, and it means that they actually have a good opportunity to come back here and win a couple more rounds in a row. Now, it's still a mountain ahead of them, but it's a climbable mountain, and they've gotten a really good first step. They're going to need to try to play against the adapted strategy being made by Elevate in this second attempt at defending the bars. Operators haven't changed at all, but I'm feeling their positions might be swapped around a little bit.
Yeah, first minute gone, not a whole lot of action. Profit will be located inside of office, and Rich upstairs in billiards with a very interesting cross that's happening. He's upstairs inside of billiards, looking all the way down through the kitchen outside window. And I think he used the Alda to create a shotgun. Either that or was Nog using that M59 to make shotgun holes inside of the kitchen wall. And that's a really interesting angle to hold.
Speaking of the shotgun, yeah, Nog's gonna get one. Neptune's, I don't know what he was up to. Probably playing from up above, if I had to guess, and Nog just wins that battle. Not necessarily one that the Buck likes to lose, but it happens from time to time. And Nog shows some great performance by him to be able to pull that off. Puts his team into a player advantage, and there's that angle you were on about. It's gonna pay off quite nicely. Rich with a good kill onto Avian, a couple of bullets, but at the end, doesn't really matter. Thunder, however, taking quite a bit of damage, and Super fighting inside of Theater, we're able to come out barely on top of things. Of course, playing on the attack, you got no way really to heal yourself back up. At this HP, it might maybe be worth it, but he doesn't probably think so. Ghost is going to be able to equalize with another kill onto Rich, and that's the player who's playing that really deadly angle, so he might have still been playing it, and it might have gotten called out. Might have died from that, but just running forward, Nog.
Whoa!
Ooh, the confidence on this man, it pays off. Goddess isn't ready for it. Super on very little HP, might be all up to Ghost. And Super can't get back into things soon, but Prophet's been down, picked back up by Pixel. They're still very much fighting for this. The gas canister is so impactful. Ghost will need a 3K if he wants his team to be able to win this round. Peeking forward, will he be able to get it? No, shotgun in hand, it's not what lands. Pixel will be able to get that kill and elevate, put themselves to 6 points. They're on match point and cannot lose this game.
Elevate needs one more round to win, and really, I'm absolutely shocked to see that Soniqs is in this position yet again. The first time that we saw it on the first matchup today was between Soniqs and Organized Chaos on Oregon, where Organized Chaos had an absolute dominant performance with a 7-2 win over Soniqs. And right now it's looking very reminiscent of how it's being played out. 6-2 right now. If Soniqs don't get something working in the next round, then I think that this is going to be another round, a really heavy loss for the Soniqs.
Yeah, they could be looking at a 7-2, 7-2. That's not good for the Pennsylvania hopefuls. I mean, this is the team. They've got a team facility, right? They've got everybody there. They've got the orgs backing them. They've got an insane amount of skill. And Elevate as well, I mean, have an insane amount of skill. I want to be clear that for Soniqs, this is a very tough play day. It's not like they're losing to like the worst teams in the league, right? That was last week. This week, they're losing to really good teams. So, I mean, the fact that they aren't showing up you shouldn't be too hard on them. But again, this is the team that you expect to win, right? This is the team you expect to make Challenger League. This is the team you thought was making Challenger League last season, and they didn't do it. They came back with an even more stacked roster. They came back with even more experience behind their belt. And they're pulling out score lines like 6-2. I don't get it.
Yeah, Elevate was under Sinister last season, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, so Sinister or Elevate has a lot of experience under their belt, especially with, you know, Rich, Prophet, Thunder. All these players have had at least a season or two of Challenger League experience. But on the opposite side for the Soniqs, you know, they all have that pro league experience. They've been, you know, through the grind. They've made land, stuff like that. But seeing teams like Elevate being this dominant against a team like Soniqs, who, you know, for one, they're in a team facility. Number two, it's they play around each other all the time. It's really really disheartening to see that they're in this kind of position for the second time in a row tonight.
And this is their third game in a row where they haven't really gotten the results they wanted to find. They started off the season strong, 3 wins in a row. This will be their third match in a row without a win. Their second loss and 1 tie in there as well. So not great. Avian playing some peekaboo. It looks like the defenders haven't found him yet, so doesn't really get the aim of that game. Probably just actually trying to call the information. Thunder's got the read on somebody. He's got that nitro cell in hand, but can't quite land it from where he's at. Gonna rotate around instead and just think, okay, well, I've got some punch holes for me. Let's go check these out. Nothing going on. Fair enough. Coming up to that 1.5-minute mark, which will signal halfway through the action phase. Nothing going on. We do have a Kaid being brought out for the first time, I believe, all map, including last game, which was also played on this map. Prophet choosing to bring that. It's instead of a bandit too, so I think he just liked having this flexibility. You can put it on multiple, like one bandit claw or one Kaid claw will be able to cover a couple different walls, so you can spread that out a little bit better and maybe cover more area overall. Neptune's going to start us off in the fragging department though and find a headshot onto Thunder.
Opening frag will be onto Thunder coming out from Neptune's. A lot of time wasted, but that's a really big pick to take down the Pulse. A lot of information and a C4 off the board with less than a minute to play. Pixel moving on inside a kitchen, but Rich takes down Ghost. A huge frag outside. I think he was on the purple tart, but oh no, Neptune's is going to swing on through, taking down Nog, but Pixel swings down underneath, takes down Neptune's, and it's now a 3v3. 40 seconds left to play out, and I don't know exactly who's going to come out on the top of this round. Avian's joining right now inside of Aquarium. Goddess inside of Luggage. I think she's going to try to go for the plants, but Super is all by himself inside of Lobby. Only 25 seconds left to play. He's in a pretty bad position to not help his team make the push that they need to.
Oh.
Shots coming out onto Avian from Rich. Avian will be lit up to about 25 HP, and because of the Evil Eye, Avian will go down. Actually, no, he won't. Goddess will start planting the diffuser. Rich takes down one. moving on through. Rafa takes down another on the Cade. It's all up to Super. This will be GG 7-2 for the Susquehanna, or for Elevate. Jesus. And wow, I cannot believe what we've been witnessing tonight.
That's crazy. 7-2. 7-2. The Soniqs fall for the second round in a row. Elevate find themselves with another W for that score sheet. And it'll be really interesting to see how the standings line up after this. I'm not going to go do the math all by myself right now. But Elevate have got to be feeling good about that, especially since it was so decisive, especially since they also played pretty poorly in that first matchup. Look at those scores.